Wait, hold up! Did you know there's a royal secret so big that it could change everything you think about Meghan Markle? Picture this scene. Meghan is standing right next to the Queen of England. Harry's grandma is literally right there. And then Meghan turns to Harry and whispers, "Who's that guy next to your grandma?" She was talking about Prince Andrew. The same Prince Andrew who's been on TV shows, newspapers, and royal events for forever. Come on now. Either Meghan never watched the news in her entire life, or she was putting on the biggest act ever. And trust me, after what I'm about to tell you, you're gonna think it's definitely the second one. See, this isn't just about one weird question. This is about a trail of secrets that goes way deeper than anyone expected. We're talking about private jets, fancy parties, and some very interesting people who knew Meghan way before Harry ever did. And here's the crazy part. Some of these connections involve the exact same Prince Andrew she claimed not to know. Coincidence? I don't think so. But before we dive into this rabbit hole, let me tell you about a story that happened over 10 years ago. Picture a cold winter night in London. A British reporter is having drinks with this unknown American actress. She's not famous yet. She's just another person trying to make it big. This reporter later said Meghan seemed nervous, talking about her messy divorce and how she wanted to meet famous people. But then she brought up Ashley Cole. You know, that soccer player who was always in the news for partying. The moment the reporter showed he knew all the inside details about Ashley's private life, Meghan's whole face changed. She wasn't there to make friends. She was there to make connections. Now here's where things get really interesting. Meghan always said she spent time studying in Argentina during college. Normal student stuff, right? Wrong. After Argentina, she went straight to Spain. But here's the weird part. There's no record of any official school program. No host family. No classmates who remember her. It's like those months just disappeared. The university posted about hosting Meghan Markle, but Meghan herself never talks about it. Why would someone hide what should be a great experience? Because those months weren't spent in classrooms. According to people who knew her back then, Meghan was traveling on fancy boats across the Mediterranean Sea. She was hanging out with very wealthy, very powerful people. And one name that keeps coming up is Juan Elias. Now, you probably haven't heard of him, but in rich people circles, he's well known. And get this, he's super close to Prince Andrew. Like, they traveled together kind of close. In 2001, while Meghan was supposedly a broke college student, she told her sorority friends she was in Thailand with wealthy men. Guess who else was in Thailand in 2001? Juan Elias and Prince Andrew. Starting to see a pattern here? But wait, it gets even crazier. Fast forward to 2012. Meghan shows up in Hong Kong. She's still not a big star. Suits wasn't that popular yet. But somehow she's flying first class, doing fancy interviews, and living like a millionaire. Here's the kicker. There used to be a video clip where Meghan mentioned that royals were around during her Hong Kong visit. But guess what? That video mysteriously disappeared from the internet. Completely gone. Want to know who else was confirmed to be in Hong Kong at the exact same time? Prince Andrew. Same city, same time period, and Meghan's being mysteriously quiet about the whole trip, but the coincidences don't stop there. In 2013, there was this super exclusive charity event in New York. We're talking about the kind of party where only the richest and most famous people get invited. Goldie Hawn was there. Naomi Campbell was there. Anna Wintour was there. Prince Andrew, his ex-wife, and his daughter Eugenie. All there, and somehow, tucked away in the background, was Meghan Markle. But here's the weird part. There are no official photos of her at this event. None. She wasn't on any guest list that the press could find. She wasn't supposed to be there. But multiple sources confirm she was. How does a minor TV actress who barely had any screen time end up at the same exclusive party as Prince Andrew and his family? Either she's the luckiest person alive, or someone was helping her get into these places. And then there's the Soho House connection. This wasn't just any club. It was like a secret meeting place for rich and famous people. Prince Harry used to go there. Prince Andrew used to go there. His family used to go there. Meghan practically lived at these places before she ever became royal. Fashion parties, charity events, private members-only nights. Always there, but always just out of the spotlight. When Meghan flew to Turkey in 2015 for a Soho House opening, the press didn't even know who she was. There's a photo of her next to Eddie Redmayne, but when newspapers reported it, they named every celebrity except her. She was so unknown they didn't bother looking her up. That's not just being unpopular. That's being deliberately invisible. She was in all the right places, with all the right people, but leaving no trace behind. Remember Juan Elias, that billionaire I mentioned earlier? He wasn't just rich. He was connected to some very questionable people. The kind of people who later ended up in serious legal trouble. And he had a habit of showing up at college parties, specifically at Meghan's sorority. He liked that scene. He would invite young women to experience the glamorous side of wealth and power. There's actual photo evidence of Meghan on a luxury yacht in the Mediterranean Sea. She's hanging out with Karine Shuliak, who later became known as one of Jeffrey Epstein's last serious girlfriends, also on that yacht. Deepak Chopra, the same Deepak who posted publicly about mentoring women for Meghan's 40th birthday project. But here's the crazy part. His name also shows up in documents connected to Epstein's secret charity networks. So now we have Meghan, Karine, Deepak, and other powerful people all hanging out together on luxury yachts. And you think that's just a coincidence? But wait, there's more. Remember that famous Jamaica wedding where Harry flew economy but Meghan got a private jet? Eugenie was there, her mom was there, and Prince Andrew was reportedly there too. But again, no photos. They didn't want to be seen together. The press focused on Harry and Meghan, but insiders knew the York family was quietly in the background. Starting to see the bigger picture, Meghan wasn't stumbling her way into royal life. She was carefully moving through power circles years before anyone knew her name. And those mysterious months in Spain I mentioned earlier, the official story was a 3-month cultural program. The real story? Nobody knows where she actually stayed or what she was really doing there. No photos, no host family, no classmates ever came forward. It's like those 3 months were completely erased from history. What we do know is that during that exact time period, Meghan told friends she was sailing around Europe, hopping from yacht to yacht with billionaires. She said she'd been to Thailand. She said she'd met powerful men who changed her life. And remember, this lines up perfectly with when Prince Andrew and Juan Elias were traveling through Asia and the Mediterranean, taking their preferred guests along for the ride. The people around Meghan during this time weren't ordinary folks. These were individuals deep in circles that later became very controversial. Like Karine Shuliak, who wasn't just a party guest, she was an insider. That picture of Meghan in the Panama hat on the yacht with Karine, that's not some vacation photo. That's a peek into a world most people only hear about in courtroom documents. Then there's Deepak Chopra again, always circling around Meghan's life in a weirdly public yet untouchable way. Posting about her birthday, mentioning her projects, but also connected to the exact same networks that were quietly moving money behind the scenes. It's not gossip, these are documented connections. And it's disturbing how much overlap there is. Even more unsettling is how Prince Andrew kept showing up at private events where Meghan just happened to appear. Soho House, Istanbul. The Charity Gala, Hong Kong, New York, London. Every time Andrew was there but off camera, and every time Meghan was invited but left no official trace. That's not fame, that's access. Meanwhile, Harry had no idea about any of this. When he finally met Meghan, he believed the Instagram story, the charity work, the humanitarian image. But this wasn't a romantic comedy. This was a woman who'd already been moving through his world for over 10 years, quietly and strategically, through his uncle's inner circle. It's not just the connections that raise questions, it's the silence. Meghan never mentions Spain, never talks about Thailand, never discusses the yacht trips or the private jet invites. You'd think she'd want to talk about being international and well-traveled. But she stays quiet because too many of those memories involve people no one wants to explain. When you step back and look at everything together, you realize Meghan didn't accidentally stumble into royalty. She maneuvered into it with precision, with access, with a trail of connections that all point back to one uncomfortable truth. She knew exactly who Prince Andrew was when she asked Harry, "Who's that next to your grandma?" She was putting on a performance to rewrite her past into something clean and acceptable. But the receipts don't lie. The travel patterns, the exclusive events, the mysteriously disappeared footage, the yacht photos, the billionaire connections. It all paints a very different picture than the fairy tale we were sold. And here's the really crazy part. This might just be the tip of the iceberg. Because if Meghan was willing to lie about something this basic, what else has she been hiding? The truth has a way of coming out eventually. And when it does, it's going to change everything we thought we knew about how Meghan Markle really became a royal.